Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call all Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Rakah Hakwadash. And once again, double honor squad to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations also go out to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways, pushing the truth across four corners of this earth, while also loading numerous videos, all right, to further aid in spreading the truth out there in order to wake up the remaining hopeful elect. All right. This is Naaman with the DC Camp branch of Great Millstone, back for another video. And boy, oh boy, when we tell you and try to stress to you about this two-tier justice system here in America that somehow everybody still tries to ignore, you know, this video is going to attempt to highlight this fact again. But still, you're going to have those that are going to choose to ignore it because mainly they benefit from it. And them, or they that I'm speaking of, are them folks. All right. All right. The nation of Edom, the so called white folks. All right. This video takes place out in, well, the story takes place out in Utah. Yeah. But first and foremost, let me read this. This is the copyright. Let me blow this up a little bit. Hold on. Dang it. Come on here. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. This is the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right, so here we go. This is going to be the Amazing Lucas website once again. Wow, man. It pisses you off, but again, when you have the understanding that, hey, we did this to ourselves, all right, and what we're suffering now is a direct consequence for us turning our backs on the Most High. And he set up this low-life piece of shit, so-called white man, to afflict us, all right, and these curses are not going to be taken off of us by education or working harder or some other dumb shit. All right. Fact of the matter is, when we turn back, when we repent and turn back to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, then these things, all right, will be done away with. And we, because of the spirit that was given to us, all right, we see what's going on. We see, I keep saying, that light at the end of the tunnel. All right. And we're seeing these curses being transferred to our enemy, to this so-called white man. We see it in real time. All right, so let's go ahead and roll this video. And yeah, this is the things you're going to hear a little bit later. Think about what, wow, let me just roll the video. Wow.
When have you ever heard someone say this? When have you?
And just so you know, I've only caught it like once, but he has like, today is Friday, of course, and on Fridays, he has what's called Disagreement Day. And he has all these people call in and they discuss certain issues. This is one of them. But this is just a snippet from that otherwise around 3-hour podcast of his. So just so you know, yeah, I mean, they be going in because he be having them folks be calling in, you know. But here we go.
Ryan Michael Bates, bro, killed 2 cops. Bro, it was a domestic dispute. Wait till you look into this. Wait till you look into this.
I know this can't be the case. I know somebody who has killed 2 officers You can't tell me that there hasn't been like national coverage.
Suspected shooter, in his own words. KSL investigators have been digging into Ryan Bates' criminal history.
In his own words. What did he say? Let's do the 1.5.
Daniela Rivera joined us live now from the newsroom with newly obtained court audio. Daniela?
That's right, Mike. We know Bate was charged with a domestic violence assault in 2021 that was resolved through a plea deal. And we now have the court audio recording from that hearing. Take a listen to what he told the judge at his sentencing back in February 2022.
It was just a bad situation. I didn't have the relationship skills at that point to be able to handle it. But we got our counseling now, and we got those skills going, and you'll never see me again in court.
Now understand, this is one of several, all right, instances where he went to court. Remember, this is domestic violence, all right? And listen, or you can read rather, what he told the judge, all right, and the judge's response.
Okay.
Bate did.
See? It almost makes you want to stroke out. I mean,
just said, okay, there's no way.
Sheriff, did you have the sense that he understood the gravity of what he did?
I spoke with investigators, they interviewed him this morning, and they got that impression that yes, he understood the gravity of it, and he was pretty much fed up and kind of at the end of his rope, and yesterday was a really bad day for him, and this is what he did.
Domestic violence, it was just a bad situation. I didn't have the relationship skills. I didn't have the relationships. He was charged with domestic violence. I got nothing, bro. I got nothing.
Bate did find
Domestic violence in the presence of a child? What? Wait, are those... Wait, is that his rap shit? Charge 1, aggravated assault, 3rd-degree felony. Charge 2, domestic violence, presence of a child, 3rd-degree felony. Dismissed. Property damage, dismissed. What? Dismissed.
himself back in court, though. In May 2024, he was arrested on several felony charges, aggravated assault, and 3 counts of domestic violence in the presence of a child.
3 counts?
A woman told police he grabbed her by the throat, and it was not the first time Bate had done that. That case was dropped a couple months later when the victim chose not to testify against Bate. And Bate will surely see the inside of a courtroom again soon. Prosecutors have not officially filed charges against him in this incident, but he is in custody right now, being held on suspicion of several felony charges, including aggravated murder, which is a capital felony. That means it does carry the possibility of a death sentence. Mike Andini.
History is very...
Bruh, they let him off?
Police were called after Ryan Michael Bate had slammed his wife's head into a doorframe.
Chief investigative reporter Wendy Halloran joins us in studio tonight after digging into the background of Bate and also found it wasn't the first time that he...
That's... Just so we're clear, that's like over half. That's the majority of white people. Just so we're clear. So I'm like, why are y'all voting in your... You're not voting in your interests. You're voting against your interests.
He allegedly attacked his wife. So Wendy, what did you find out?
Well, Heidi and Mark, we pulled court documents and obtained court recordings, and what we found is something the Domestic Violence Coalition says happens all too often in Utah.
So are you Ryan Bate?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Notice she said it happens all too often in Utah. All right?
We'll call your case.
On May 8th, 2024, the victim reported that her husband, Ryan Bate...
What?
This is last year.
Good right now. I'm not
just over a year ago.
...grabbed her by the throat and tossed her onto the couch. Bate denied it. He was arrested and charged with aggravated assault and 3 counts of domestic violence in front of their children. The probable cause affidavit reveals she told police he grabbed her by the neck the week before, saying she did not report it because she wanted to keep her family together.
Come on now, dog. It's not a single-parent household.
Having trouble
they'll use that
accessing
excuse
your
with
funds?
Jake.
Is the platform asking
this
for
is all the
endless
shit that
verifications,
they've
delaying withdrawals, or has
set
it
up
simply disappeared?
a trap,
Okay.
for Jake to fall in, and just like what he's telling you here, they'll come back with, well, at least it's not a single-parent household. These motherfuckers will rationalize shit just so, man, you just get tired of just being around these people, and I use that term loosely.
You know that's what they'll say. Well, it's not a single-parent household, Lucas, I'll tell you that, all right? At least there's a man in the household, okay? Bruh.
She did send us an email and said that they over-exaggerated the strangulation, but I will point out that on the in the risk assessment, the lethality assessment, she does say that he's choked her before, and it comes in as high risk.
The state got a no-contact order. Approximately 1 month later, it was modified.
We did receive a request from the victim. We also have a lethality assessment that was done that night, and in that lethality assessment, it says there's entire strangulation. There's a huge risk.
It was redone a month later?
Here, Mr. Bate, apparently, according to the victim, has done this before.
I will go ahead and modify the no contact order to be no threats or no
threats about what?
Any of the alleged victims in this case.
What? Just no threats. You can have contact, just no threats and no violence against the victim.
More than a month later, the case was dismissed. The prosecutor said her testimony was needed to prosecute Bate.
Counsel's reached out to me and let me know that she plans on invoking her marital privilege. In looking and reviewing the evidence, we would need her testimony.
In this type of situation, there were such indicators of a high risk of lethality that we should have all been concerned about this. So we really need to hold abusers accountable and ask them why they abuse.
Okay. Despite what's coming out of her mouth, you're overlooking the fact that the wife chose to not testify, and therefore the case was dismissed. So, let's let her continue here.
Kimmy Wolf with the Utah Domestic Violence Coalition.
There is every indicator why this person might want to recant, might want to, blame themselves, might want to say, I was just flat out lying, all to protect themselves and their family.
Wolf has words of compassion for her.
She'll have to, think through all the decision making and the systems that might have failed her, and, and hopefully that we can do better for the next one.
The system failed her? What? Wait, ho. Didn't that contradict what? You said she chose to recant. She chose to push for not testify, and therefore they dismissed the case. So you made a choice, a conscious, I'm so sick. I'm saying this the way I am because I'm so sick of this shit. And she's coming on here talking about the system failed her. And this woman chose not to testify and therefore have the charges pressed and the case go through against, You realize that if she had, this wouldn't have happened. I'm sure at some point this has gone through her head. Continuing on.
Judge Brandon Maynard, the judge in the 2024 case you just heard, ruled that Ryan Michael Bate be held in the Weber County Jail without bail. He's being held on 2 counts of aggravated murder, which is eligible for the death penalty, and 1 count of assault. I checked the court docket, but it does not yet appear formal charges have been filed. Heidi?
And here's the thing. Something as serious as this, I just thought of something. And yet, I mentioned at the onset about this 2-tier justice system. Jake will do the smallest of things, and they'll come through with this thing about, even if, in some cases, the individual, the plaintiff, they can refuse if they want, but the state has the option to go ahead and go along and pursue charges, and therefore the case, regardless. How about that? But again, hey, this is Utah. Wow. So here's what I'm getting from this. All right, because of your own bias, your prejudice, your racism, this is what caused whatever degree this is what is responsible for this. You're not able to apply the law uniformly across the board. All right, it's obvious that that's the case here, and look what happened. But as bad as that is, God, and we keep bringing these scriptures out about Psalm 73 and 5, about them not being in trouble as other men. And this is a prime example. But wait till you hear what this, I guess he's the department spokesman. Oh my, here we go.
And the charges haven't even been filed yet? He killed 2 cops, and they still haven't filed charges?
Thanks for sticking with us here on Midday.
It's more than just football, and it's about to start again. At BetMGM, you can enjoy fantastic promotions every game round, every week, for every major competition. We call it the Season Pass. Go check it out.
I'm Matt Fonts.
And I'm Alyssa Royster. We want to get right to that breaking news of 2 officers dead and another injured following a shooting in Tremonton.
That's right, we're bringing you team coverage on the latest this afternoon. Kate Gardner is in Tremonton talking with one person who was live streaming during the shooting. And Bayon Wang is in Taylorsville at the medical examiner's office where the bodies of those fallen officers are being held. But first we want to check in with...
Killed not 1, 2 officers, fam.
The ABC4's Jonathan May, who joins us live outside the home where officers responded to that domestic disturbance. Jonathan, you've spent the morning talking with neighbors and police. What can you tell us?
Yeah, that's right, Matt. Alyssa, you can feel and hear the heartbreak when talking to these neighbors. It's a close community. So close, in fact, that the chief of the Brigham City Police Department says it was neighbors around the home who helped talk the suspect down.
Those acquaintances and relationships probably played a key role into that, into getting him to put down his weapons and surrender.
Neighbors felt something was off Sunday.
He killed 2 officers and was allowed to put down his weapons and surrender? Someone want to tell me there was no privilege here? Is that what you want to tell me? This man yeeted 2 cops. And you had an officer say it was due to his neighbors that convinced him to put the weapon down that he's still alive. Neighbors? They usually clear out the block. There aren't no neighbors. They tell you, hey, stay inside. If you don't stay inside, you gotta leave.
Evening after hearing a loud pop.
Thought it was a firework, like legit. It sounded like a firework, so I didn't think anything of it. So we finished doing what we were doing, and then I got thinking.
Yeah, we heard like some, not like distressed yelling, but kind of like louder yelling. And for 9 p.m. at night, it was kind of weird.
Tyson went over to the home to find out more. He saw a police officer.
I just asked him, hey, I thought I heard fireworks or something. He was getting out of his car. He's like, no, your neighbor's shooting guns, and it's an active shooter right now, so get home. So I drove back around the block, got home, and 30 seconds later, there was the 3 other shots, and yeah.
Police say the first officer arrived alone. The second one followed shortly after. Both died on scene after the shooting.
Bro, do you hear what they're saying? First officer arrived alone, got killed. Second officer arrived after him, got killed.
Third officer and a service dog were also hit. Both are recovering. And
a third officer was hit and a...
So, for those of you that don't know, that dog is also considered a police officer. All right. So, just so you know. Just so you know. As ridiculous as it sounds, yes. Yes. All right. So the count should be 4 altogether to include the canine. All right. 3 humans, 2 of which were killed, the 3rd wounded alongside or along with the dog.
Service dog, and he was allowed to surrender? Fam, there are harsher consequences in GTA than in real life for these people, bro.
He's out of line, but he's right.
There are harsher, listen to me, there are harsher consequences in GTA.
Fair condition, police say.
They, took an oath to protect and serve their communities, and that's what they were doing, and they knew the dangers going into this. And
let's wind that back. I've never heard this myself, at least being spoken publicly right after this happened.
They, took an oath to protect and serve their communities, and that's what they were doing, and they knew the dangers going into this, and unfortunately, they...
Yeah, it makes you want to stroke out just about the hypocrisy that.
He's practically validating. He's justifying the killing by saying they took the oath. They knew what they were doing when they were getting into this.
Which is true. All right, which is true. But you would never hear them, especially over a news broadcast, say this. I've never heard of it, seen it. Wow.
When have you ever heard someone say this? Whenever, I've never in my entire life have I ever heard an officer say, well, they took an oath to protect and serve and they knew what they were doing when they got into this. In regards to 2 officers dead, a 3rd officer hit, and a dog injured.
They paid the ultimate price.
You think you know your neighbors?
They paid the ultimate price. Nothing about, hey, this guy was unhinged, this is horrible, this is a travesty, I hope, he gets the chair.
And then maybe you don't know him as well, and it was off.
He grew up in a single family home. All kinds of, he's a thug. Wow.
Awful to hear the officer pass.
The suspect was booked into the Box Elder County Jail on charges of aggravated murder. Police believe he lived at the home.
Having 2 officers killed in the line of duty and another and their dog injured is an event that really rocks an entire nation. Well, it's Tremont.
That really rocks an entire nation? Look how passive he is in this. It's just really, it's a tragedy. But that just rocks an entire nation, You hate to see it.
It's just a small town,
I mean, we know most of our neighbors. Unfortunately, those are one neighbors we don't really know, but we love our neighbors. We love the community. Our kids walk past that house every single day.
Walk by that house every day.
They ride their bikes around there.
I have yet to hear them ask, well, did he have any signs of the mental illness? Did you ever notice something was funny about him? Did you ever notice any type of outrage that he's had before? Was it a calm, family that lived there?
Every single day.
The leading questions that they ask when there's a black person involved?
And during my story, we did actually just get the information about the name of the suspect. Police are saying it's Ryan Michael Bate. That just came in. So we'll, of course, update you both on air and online with that information. Reporting live in Tremont, Jonathan May, ABC4 News.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Now let's send things over to our Brian Wang, who's live at the medical examiner's office in Taylorsville. Brian, what do we know about the process for the officers now?
I can't believe this. I can't believe this. This is so night and day. I'm speechless, genuinely. This is so night and day. They didn't ask anything about, hey, is this something like this happened before or anything?
Office in Taylorsville following the night up north, and we know the faces of the 2 officers who were shot to death last night. We want to show them to you now. Sergeant Lee Sorensen and Officer Eric Estrada. Sergeant Sorensen joined the Tremont and Garland Police Department 16 years ago.
White privilege stronger than Superman, than super serum. Bruh, he killed 2 officers, almost killed a 3rd one, and injured a police dog. And you had an officer tell us that it was because of the neighbors that talked him down to drop the gun. I'm tapping out for tonight. Y'all take care, bro. I'm done. That was too much for me. You should have prepared me for that one. That was too much. I'm gonna be honest with you. My brain is fried. I gotta reset. I gotta go to bed.
He sat there distraught as the judge read those long charges against him.
Are you Ryan Michael Bate, date of birth September 1st, 1992?
Yes, Your Honor. Right from the beginning of today's virtual court hearing, you could see inmate Ryan Bate clearly emotional. Head down, at times sobbing, rocking back and forth as Judge Spencer Walsh...
Get the fuck out of here. This is, you know where I'm going. This is Ciroc 12. Let's see where I want to start. Might as well start at 10. This is Sirach Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed, and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. This is classic with these devils, where it being the case right here where, you know, he's being brought forth to answer for his crimes, and he's playing this, you know, I'm so sorry. He's only sorry because he got caught. All right. Or, you know, when it comes to Jake, he's, like it says here, he gives the appearance of being humble, all right, in dealing with you. But let's continue. Verse 13, who will pity a charmer? Because we've been warned, and we're telling our people, we're warning them about such things. But for those who don't listen, it says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? All right, or any such as come nigh wild beast. So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? That's the question. Why? You've been forewarned. You choose to ignore the warning, so why should anyone pity you now? 15, for a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, which you saw there, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Just waiting for that opportunity. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. Because more than not, this is the motherfucker that's responsible for it. All right. And get, you know, well, yeah, I'll agree to help. Yeah, no problem. You've seen or heard numerous accounts where Jake, you know, in business dealings with these motherfuckers, contracts, whatever have you. All right. And they get snake bitten. You know, because you trust it. The music industry alone in its history, when it comes to dealings with Jake, very sad. Very sad. Up until, when Prince, you know, was taken out, Michael Jackson, and all those that didn't even quite rise to their status, how the industry and those fake Jews screwed them over. All right? People won't listen. We're trying to tell them who's who. All right? What else did I have here? Let's see. Let's go to Job 34. Let's see. All right. Let's see, where did I have? Let's see. Let's go up a little bit. There we go. Because this is who's ruling over us. All right. It says, Job 34:30, that the hypocrite reigneth not, all right, or ruleth not, lest the people be ensnared. And this is, I mean, my goodness, you can't tell how this is set up. This is nothing but a big snare for Jake, a trap. All right, it says 31, surely it is meet to be said unto the Most High, I have borne chastisement, I will not offend anymore. Because again, at the end of the day, this man was set up, all right, to rule over us, to, as it says, when it goes into Hebrews 12 chapter about being chastised, all right. this is proof in and of itself who we are. All right, because, well, let's just go to Hebrews. This is Hebrews 12, because people have this misunderstanding of how things work. All right, they think you see all these people with all these riches and the love of their fellow man and all this. That's proof that, you know, they're blessed by the Most High in the positive light. No. This is Hebrews 12:6. It says, "For whom the Most High loveth, he chasteneth." What does chasteneth mean? Let's go into, all right. He chasteneth. That's Strong's G3811. All right. Parduno. And it says to train up a child, that is, educate, or by implication, discipline by punishment. All right. Chasten, instruct, learn, teach. Remember, Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way that he should go. All right. But if you're just going through for the longest of times and nothing, and I'm talking about as a nation, and nothing is happening to you, you're allowed to do anything and everything, you rape, rob, and murder, and there's no consequence. No. Let's keep on going. All right. It says, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. He says, if ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? Good question. 8, but if ye be without chastisement, which is what I was trying to explain, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons? Taking into account Zechariah 9:6, talking about the occupants of the land of Israel being bastards, being frauds, which is another word for bastard. Furthermore, verse 9, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us. All right. Didn't spare the rod. It says, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? All right. So these are people that are ruling over us that have been set up. All right. And they've been, for the most part, thinking, now, the elites, of course, they know who they are. They know that they are Edom. And in recent years, I can't give you a number precisely, a lot more of those underneath them, trickling on down to Bubba, have figured it out too. That's why you're seeing more and more of this push for these people to say, hey, why are we always kissing these people, these Israelis' ass? Why are we constantly funding that bullshit over there? They're just now like catching on to, and this has been going on since the Kennedy administration. There's one theory as how he got his head blown off, because he wanted the state, I have to say that like that, he wanted the state of Israel to register as a foreign entity. And they didn't want to do it, primarily due to weapons inspections and things of that nature, because of nuclear, a nuclear arsenal, and they refused. And David Ben-Gurion, the prime minister at the time, in June of '63, just abruptly resigned because of the pressure put on by Kennedy. That's one theory that says that's why they did what they did the 5 months later, in November of 63. Then there's the other one with Executive Order 11110, when he was messing around with the Federal Reserve. Well, it would have somehow affected with the Federal Reserve. All right, so they've allowed for the last 60 years for AIPAC to continuously grow in power to where they're a foreign nation has been directly involved in the politics of America. Directly. And yet, the idiots still think it's Russia. So all this, what I'm getting to, all this propaganda, all these lies, all this, all right? This place is done. People are catching on to the bullshit. And this is just another aspect of it. Blatant bias, hypocrisy. All right? Two-tier justice system. People will just brush it off. Oh, the blacks, they just all these excuses. And it's right in front of your face. This is, go back to Job. Let's see, where was it? Oh. I said Job, Psalms. I could have went to Job 2, but 73 and 5, all right? And it says, they, talking about these people, are not in trouble as other men, as I quoted earlier. Neither are they plagued like other men. All right? Their pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. All right? Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. You've got a certain family that's worth at least a couple of $1 trillion. And that report on that came out a few years back, talking about the Rothschilds. I said trillion with a T. I didn't say billion. All right, so, I mean, this is old money, going back to the mid to late 1700s. Why? Because they played both sides in most everything that they did. All right, so, you know, they haven't even touched the principle. They're still living off the interest. All right, then you have the Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, and these others, the Lopez's, all these elite families, all right, money hand over fist, you know. Let's see, their eyes stand out with fatness, they have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily, and yes, they do. Now the president is still going after, since he's been in office, going after the Smithsonian Institute because apparently telling the truth, well, we just can't have that. We can talk about some Holocaust bullshit that happened supposedly over somewhere else in Europe. But no, to the people that continually and have historically been fucked over, no, how dare you tell the truth about that? You want to take certain exhibits, you want to take certain truths out of a museum because you're afraid little Timmy is going to see this and feel some kind of way? Like, who gives a fuck? This is, man, hey, this shit is about to come to a head here. I mean, how? Well, we know, you know, violently. You know, that's why we keep, at the end of my videos, I always say, all right, remain circumspect, be wary. That's a word. Let's get that. of what's going on around you. That is very important, so you don't get caught slipping. All right, wary, on guard, watchful, characterized by caution, cautious of danger, carefully watching and guarding against deception, artifices, and dangers, timorously or suspiciously prudent, circumspect, scrupulous, careful. All right, that's the way you should be in all matters, but especially now. All right, again, this has been this has been the amazing Lucas website. If he was black, this story would be everywhere. And that's exactly right. Got to put that brown face up there, all right, to distract from what these so-called white people are doing. All the pedophilia and child trafficking and all this. And then what do they put up there? P. Diddy, which rightfully so, fuck him. R. Kelly, fuck him too. But my point is, they always have to have one of us as a distraction to their bullshit. All right? And it works, unfortunately, every time. He's doing all this shit, I'm talking about the president, DJ Trump, to distract from that Epstein list. He's doing all this, well, he's supposed to tour with the National Guard and these other alphabet agencies. I think if he's not already doing it, it was supposed to be this evening sometime. All right. Or was it yesterday? But, you know, it was Thursday or it was tonight. But, you know, it goes to show you, I don't fall for that, you know, publicity bullshit. It's publicity stuff, and that's all it is, publicity stuff, you know. He wants to make sure that he's tough on crime. What? Sure, DC has its problems. You know, no one's dismissing that, but won't you go after some real crime? Won't you go to corporate and, hey, how about in politics? Wow. But the people that, oh no, wait a minute, you pardoned some people, right? January 6th that went in the Capitol, shit on the walls and the floor, and some other shit in people's elected persons' offices and shit. At least one woman was killed. Was it one or two officers that were killed? I know one by suicide. I think they counted that one. But anyway, you know, on camera, even though we know that was set up, you know, and I think that's another reason why he's going after all these people, because they made that out to be way more than what it was as far as when they were let in. I mean, you can see the videos. It's not like they breached, you know. No, they were let in. But in any case, yeah, he's going. They just raided, what's his name, former National Security Advisor, what's his name, Bolton. They raided his home, was it this morning? Yeah, so he's going after, hey, these district attorneys or assistant district attorneys that went after him, he's going after them. Yeah, so he's got his little list. But we're going to see, he's making, at least down in Texas, trying to make sure that his chances in the midterm elections, you know, he's trying to stack the deck in that regard, because he knows he's going to be unpopular, because there's a lot more stuff that has yet to take effect, all right, that's going to take effect after that. So he's trying, oh, he thinks he's slick, all right, but yeah, these people, things are not going as planned for them, because they really thought Jake was going to be out there with Northern Kingdom in these protests, and that didn't happen. All right, so now he's coming. I just witnessed today, I was coming in, and I witnessed, hey, they're coming, you know, these alphabet agencies along with MPD out here fucking with homeless Jake, you know. But yeah, this place is done. It's on its way to a civil war. It's plain to see, and that's again more reason to be aware of who you're around, where you are, because this could literally kick off at any moment. All right, so with that, I hope whoever views this video has been edified, and once again, be circumspect out there. All right. So with that, hey, shalom.